Hello, everybody. This is Louise Eddington, the Cosmic Owl of Cosmic Owl Astrology. And today I'm going to talk to you about Venus. Venus is moving into Aquarius today, January the 2nd, 2023. I have to make sure I'm getting the year right. And she's only going to be in the sign of Aquarius until January the 26th. But I'm going to talk to you a little bit about what Venus in Aquarius means. We're going to look at some of the major aspects that she's going to make in this 24-day journey through the sign of Aquarius. And then we're going to look at all signs so that you can look at your rising sign, sun sign or moon sign, especially rising sign if you know it, to see what area of your life is going to be affected by the lesser benefic, the lucky planet Venus going into the sign of Aquarius. Now, I actually love the sign of Venus in Aquarius, but let's talk a little bit about what Venus is first of all. Venus represents love, relationships, beauty, feelings, values. She's also magnetism, charm, cooperation, harmony, peace, resolution. She's associated with culture, aesthetics, and real feminine interests. It's the divine feminine. She's a search for unity, at one-ment and equilibrium and tranquility. On the less positive side, Venus can also be about a little bit indecisive and a fence sitter, a little bit lazy, a little bit inertia involved, can be stubborn and possessive, and overindulgent and self-indulgence. A little bit vain as well can be Venus. But Venus is moving into the sign of Aquarius. Now, incidentally, Venus does rule the signs of Libra and Taurus. She's also in esoteric astrology. She's said to be the sole ruler of Gemini and the spiritual or hierarchical ruler of Capricorn. Those of you that have done my Venus retrograde class, got one coming up in July, will know more about that. And I talk more about that every Venus retrograde class. But anyway, Venus is moving into the sign of Aquarius for 24 days. And Venus in Aquarius is really the avant-garde, the bohemian, idealistic, very tolerant and unconventional, very universal, very humanitarian, wants the best for the people. Now, of course, everything has a yin and yang. Venus in Aquarius can also be a little bit erratic, a little bit impersonal, a little bit cold, a little bit stubborn and unemotionally cold. That's what I mean. And also a little bit taboo. Venus in Aquarius is really kind of the friends to lovers kind of energy. You know, Venus in Aquarius is not like the gushy or needy kind of energy of Venus perhaps in a water sign. It's a little bit more detached than that. But Venus in Aquarius kind of likes familiarity and to get to know somebody before attachment. So think about how that's playing out in your own chart as we go through those energies. Now, Venus in Aquarius can do relationships very differently. It can be the polyamorous or open relationships or separate households. And can be pulled into strange or unconventional, or ones that society deems strange or unconventional. They're often attracted to the offbeat and the different. It's really time with Venus in Aquarius to kind of let your freak flag fly a little bit and let your weird WYRD really kind of show. But they're very intellectual. They want some very into clever conversations, spirited debates. They're attracted to people mentally with Venus in Aquarius, and we all will be more so during this time. So it's also quite futuristic. It's about, with Venus being about magnetism and to some degree the law of attraction, It's about thinking of future hopes and wishes. So this is a really good 24 days to kind of think outside the box, to do some mind mapping. If you don't know what mind mapping is, look it up, and create some puzzle pieces and go, yeah, this is what I want, hope and wish for the future. And here's the parts I need to pull in to create the future, with Venus being very much about creation. Okay. It's just not the warmest placement. So for 24 days, things are a little bit more detached, very progressive though, and fascinated by the difference, the weird, the unconventional. So that's what Venus in Aquarius vibe is going to be like. It's going to be a real bit of an uplift. We've had a very intense Capricorn season. We've still got the Sun in Capricorn. We've still got Mercury in retrograde in Capricorn. And though the Sun will leave the sign of Capricorn before and join Venus in Aquarius before she moves out. But, you know, it's been quite a hard Capricorn season through these holidays, and kind of a bit depressed, a bit low. But now we get this lift of this spirited, free-thinking kind of Venus in Aquarius, which is going to help lift us forward into the future. So I'm going to share the chart. Now, it may look a little bit weird because I've taken some of the noise out of the chart just to kind of show you what Venus is about this time. So this is the point of ingress. Venus is moving into the sign of Aquarius at 9:09 p.m. Eastern time today, Monday, January the 2nd, 2023. Now, she makes some pretty big aspects during this time. So I am going to be moving the chart and showing you the aspects. Okay. So the first aspect she makes is on January the 3rd. That's because, sorry, I hit the wrong thing. January the 3rd, 2023. So tomorrow, Venus is actually going to square Haumea. Now, why do I think this one is important? Haumea is the planet, the dwarf planet that represents birth and fertility and just creation, pure creation. Haumea is in Scorpio, which is a very fertile composting sign. I'm reminded of this a writer called Sophie Strand, who I follow. Her Substack is called Make Me Good Soil. This is what Haumea is. It's about birthing something from a very fertile composting place. And Venus is going to square Haumea. And whilst Venus squares Haumea relatively often, Haumea is moving into Scorpio this year. She's moved in, Haumea moved into Scorpio and will retrograde back into Libra. And then later in 2023, will move into Scorpio for a few years. So this is at the 0 point. 0 Aquarius is a very hot degree. It's been, it was the point of the Jupiter-Saturn conjunction, the Great Mutation conjunction. Mars and Venus had a conjunction there. Pluto is going to go back and forth over the 0 degree 5 times as Pluto moves into Aquarius. And on December the 7th, 2024, Venus, Pluto, and Ceres will all meet at that 0 Aquarius. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, and we're birthing something new. So I think this square is an important one to push us forward to the future. So that's kind of how it starts. Okay. Then the very next day, Venus is actually going to, January the 4th, move to 1 degree, is going to sextile Jupiter. Now, Jupiter and Ceres are in this ongoing opposition that's going to exact again. They've been exactly opposing once. Jupiter is expansion in Aries, fire sign, expansion of identity and passion and drive and will. And this is fire and air. This is very creative. big ideas with the sextile to Jupiter. I think this one is really important. And shortly after that, in fact, on January the 6th, Venus will exactly trine Ceres. So we can see that Venus has then moved to 4 degrees, is still really in a sextile to Jupiter, but then is going to trine Ceres, the great mother in Libra. These two aspects, these supportive aspects with Venus in the futuristic sign of Aquarius, I think are pushing us towards how we can nurture the earth and create more balance and harmony and justice on the earth and how we treat the earth. But at a personal level, the Aries Libra axis is the me versus we axis. And so it's how can we bring ourselves in to support others and bring some healing and create some resolution, forgiveness and balance and healing, with Ceres being about grief, forgiveness, living in alignment with the cycles of nature. Okay, so on the 9th, Venus is going to make another air trine, and that one is to Mars. And Mars, that was on January the 9th, and Mars stations direct on January the 12th. So really, Mars is just 3 minutes away from the point he's going to station direct at. As Venus approaches the trine to Mars, she's actually going to cross this centaur here called Chariklo as well. And this is air and air. Big ideas again, changing ideas, taking what we've learned from Mars retrograde in Gemini since October 22 and saying, all right, let's move forward. What can we create moving forward that brings balance between our love nature and our action and drive and will nature? Okay, and I think Chariklo is really about weaving and spinning new stories in Aquarius. And we are weaving and spinning new stories. This is very big ideas. And bringing it on from the aspects to Jupiter and Ceres, I think there's going to be some very innovative new thoughts. Real time for mind mapping. Please do some. Then Venus is going to square the nodes. Okay, so on January the 11th, Venus comes up and she is now at 10 degrees and the lunar nodes have moved back to 10 degrees and Venus is on the bendings of the nodes. That's always a turning point, but this is moving us towards the Venus ruled North Node. And it follows on from that trine to Mars. Mars rules the South Node. It's saying, let's let go of any power games, manipulation, and so on, and move towards this more potentially value-driven, sustainable future. Okay. Then on January the 12th, Venus will sextile Chiron. Okay, so Venus will then move up to sextile Chiron, and that's again a supportive aspect. How can we be the key to healing? How can we unlock what we need to do, what action we need to take to be a part of creating the future that we want to see, is what the words I'm trying to think of. Then the next square for Venus is that she is going to come up on January the 14th and she is going to square Uranus. And Uranus is going to be stationing direct on January the 22nd. So he's also almost at his station point. And so Venus square Uranus is saying it's time to shake things up, do things radically, in a radically different way. Okay, so that was the square to Uranus. Okay, now January the 22nd is a very big day. So on January the 22nd, Venus is going to come up and conjunct Saturn. And as she conjuncts Saturn just before, she is going to sextile Eris, who is also at her station degree. So Venus is activating a lot of planets that are either stationary or about to station. And that is a real point of, change. And Venus is activating all of these. And Venus really is our higher self, higher love, all those things. Venus in Saturn can be reality checks around what changes we're bringing. It can be like, all right, so you've got these ideas. Now what's real? What can we really build? It's also about commitment. Venus-Saturn conjunctions are very much about commitment. But let's add in the wriggle of this sextile to Eris. Eris, the shit stirrer. She's stirring things up a bit. So as Venus approaches the conjunction with Saturn, there may be some stuff stirred up, some shit gets brought to the surface, especially if you have planets around 24 degrees, particularly of the fixed or cardinal signs. Cardinal being Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, and fixed being Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius. But something might shake, rattle, and roll, and then we have to go, let's draw in the boundaries. What's real? What can we make real? What can we create that's practical with Saturn as well, and that will stand the test of time? So that's a very big day on January the 22nd. It's also a very big day because Uranus actually stations direct on that day. So we've got Uranus going, yeah, let's let's change but be practical about what changes we're bringing. Okay. So on the 25th, Venus, this is the last aspect we'll look at. And this is one that happens every 6 months as well. But again, I'll tell you why I think this one is important. On January the 25th, before Venus leaves the sign of Aquarius, she squares Sedna. And the reason why I think this is important is because Sedna is changing signs this year too. If you've watched my my 2023 preview, you will have those dates for when Sedna will move into Gemini. Now, Sedna has an 11,408-year orbit. So, this sign changing for Sedna is huge. Sedna will be in Gemini for the rest of our lives as we move more and more into the age of air. And Venus is in an air sign, and Sedna is in a Taurus ruled sign. Now, Sedna is associated with big cycles of change. The last time Sedna was where she is now was at the end of the Great Ice Ages, when human beings started to move from being hunter-gatherers to being farmers and creating communities as Sedna moved into Gemini. So a fixed square again is saying, bring the change, bring the change. So I think Venus's journey through Aquarius is going to be one of great innovation, great ideas to move forward. I think this year is bringing that anyway, but Venus's journey through Aquarius may happen every year, maybe a short one, but I think it's going to be real impactful. Look for some really big new ideas from new innovations, and just get ready to fly your freak flag and say, yes, I can do this. This may seem weird to traditional people, but it's on. I'm going to do it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to do all signs now. So bear with me 1 second. I'm actually going to get Aquarius on the cusp of the first house because it's only fair. We're talking about Venus in Aquarius. So let's start with the sign of Aquarius. So Aquarius rising or sun in Aquarius or moon in Aquarius a little bit. This is all about your face you're putting out in the world. You really do want to fly your freak flag. You really do want to say, well, I actually really like this unconventionality, and I'm actually going to show more of it. This is your persona, what you're putting out in the world, what people see when they meet you. one-on-one. So really, it's kind of your time to go, hey, you know, I am different, I am unique, and I am going to own it during this time. So enjoy that, Aquarius rising. Pisces rising. This for you is a quieter time. With Venus in Aquarius being a little bit more distant, you're going to have to be okay during this 24-day period, saying, I need some alone time. I need some distance. I want some space. I have a t-shirt that says, I need some space, talking about space. But you could do with this t-shirt, Pisces, for this period. You do not want to be bothered. You want to be there with your thoughts. You want to do meditation or journey work to get some answers, to think outside the box. And you want to be okay with saying, I need some space. All right. Aries. Aries, for you, this is all about groups and friends, you know, and Aquarius is the sign of causes and groups and friends. Aries, you could, you know, you could join a humanitarian cause. You could join some air protector group or some kind of a group that helps refugees, or you could help fly another organization. But Aries is very straight and narrow, Aries rising. So you'll be a little bit prepared to show your uniqueness and your different side during this time. Okay. But it's also about the big message, by the way, the 11th house. So if you're an entrepreneur, you could be going, oh, I've thought of this entirely new message that I'm going to put out in the world. This is what I'm about. Taurus, for you, this is all about your reputation, your visibility. It's how people see you publicly. It's somewhat to do with your career. Taurus can be a little bit staid, a little bit conventional. Not this month. It's time to kind of wear those weird colors. You know, maybe color your hair purple or something like that, Taurus. You could do something really out of the box so that the public or your public visibility or your workspace sees you being a bit different, but also, you know, being about your mission in life. You could be saying, I want to do something that feels a little bit more like rebel for a cause, not rebel without a cause. Okay. Gemini. Oh, Gemini, for you, this is kind of about your curious mind will love this. This is attracted to kind of unconventional kind of belief systems, perhaps, or unconventional cultures, and really kind of taking the time to explore those and kind of join in the fun of that. You could travel to an unconventional destination on this time, or you could just travel in your mind. Cancer, for you, this is all about deep inside and your most intimate and deeply bonded relationships. This is time for a bit of kink, to be honest, Cancer, with Venus in Aquarius going through your 8th house. You know, if you might want to get your handcuffs out or something like that for a little bit of fun that's a bit unconventional and out of the norm, in whatever way that means for you. Leo, for you, this is all about your significant relationships and how you compromise yourselves for others. And you're going to go, I'm not going to compromise anymore. I'm going to, you know, I actually really enjoy and I'm very attracted to unconventional people and slightly weird people. And I'm not going to compromise that anymore. I'm not going to say, I'm just going to go, hey, I like you. You're different and I want to be around you. And, but you're also not going to compromise your own uniqueness for others during this time. So, Virgo rising, this is all about health, work, daily routines. Could be pets too. You know, you might go and buy yourself, I don't know, a gecko or something for a pet, some kind of unconventional pet. But it's also about shaking things up a little bit, doing things a little bit differently in your daily routines. Say, hey, everybody says it has to be done this way. Well, actually, I want to shake things up a little bit and do things a little bit differently, and just have a little bit of fun expressing my weird through my work. Libra. So Libra, creative self-expression, joy and fun. What's something that brings you joy, that feels like you're flying your freak flag to you? Libra can be very much about conventionality and appearing right and looking right. And it's time to loosen those bonds a little bit and go, well, actually, you know, I don't know, what's blue and green should never be seen was a thing I used to hear growing up. Well, you might say, well, screw that. I like blue and green. I'm going to wear blue and green together. Or whatever feels unconventional or not of the perfect aesthetic for you. Play it, have some fun with it, and just bring some joy into your life. Scorpio, this is in the home. So in the home or in your inner self, you're going to be exploring some you're kind of going to take a little step back and see the bigger picture of the home and how you may have just been really conventional and done things the way somebody else wanted, and now you're going, no, I'm going to shake things up and do things a little bit differently. You may move your furniture around, you may move your internal furniture around and just shake up the internal insides a little bit. Scorpio. Oh, no, we did Scorpio. It's not moved yet. Sagittarius. This is about learning something different and expressing your voice differently. It's also in your local community. You know, if you're involved in your local community at all and people see you a certain way, you might come out with, you know, rainbow colored hair and go, hey, no, I'm quite different really, and I want to show that and I want to express that more this time. So, but it's also about learning something. You may start, Aquarius can be a very scientific sign, so you may be very attracted to kind of more scientific subjects just for this period. Capricorn, last but not least. This is about your self-esteem, your self-worth, and how you earn your money. And so, you know, you shake things up a little bit there and do things a little bit uniquely and say, you know, I'm going to show everybody that this is who I really am. And I'm okay with being this unique and different person more. And your self-esteem is going to go up a little bit. You're with Venus in Aquarius, you're a little bit less attached to what other people think. Aquarians really generally do not care what other people think. So Capricorn can be a little bit staid, less so. Everybody's going to be a little bit staid, but this is the area of life that's going to be impacted for just this 24-day period. So enjoy that. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe to my channel. If you enjoy it, give me a thumbs up, leave me a comment. Love to hear from you. And thank you for supporting my channel. Throughout 2022, I reached a target that I was aiming for right at the end of the year. And my aim this year is to just keep growing this channel and doing more videos. And so all the thumbs up and subscribes I can get really help do that. So thanks for listening, and I will see you on the next video.